790 AM, 94.1 FM, KFGO.com, the KFGO mobile app. Follow 790 KFGO on Twitter. Like the KFGO Morning Crew on Facebook.
Every Tuesday around 7:40, we are joined by licensed registered dietitian Elizabeth Meyer. If you have any questions for her, you can text them in to 35270 or pick up the phone, give us a call, 237-5948, 1-800-880-5346. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Good morning, you two.
We need to start out because Ruthie called when we were done last week, and she wanted to know about she likes to keep celery and radishes in the fridge, and then when she's hungry, just nibbles on those. And she's wondering if celery and radishes count as your veggie total?
Heck yes, they do. All the veggies count. So I think that's brilliant of her. Keep doing it.
And those are low calorie, but are they good enough, or should she maybe branch out a little bit with some others?
No, I think that they're good, but I always tell people try to branch out because all different vegetables have different nutrients, different vitamins in them. And so it's important to, change up the colors, change up the variety. But if those are the only two that you like, then keep eating them. But if you like other ones, then, mix it up from time to time.
Elizabeth, I'm going to put you on the spot. And if you had to, because I get kind of what Ruthie is saying, is you might have a person that likes to chomp on celery or likes to chomp on carrots. If you're going to pick like one vegetable to chomp on as a regular, I get what you're saying is that you're supposed to, variety is the key. But if you were going to snack on one vegetable in particular on a regular basis, what would you, licensed registered dietitian Elizabeth Meyer, pick?
What would I pick? I would pick cauliflower.
What would you do with it?
I eat it with like ranch or with hummus. I won't eat it plain because it needs something. I'll eat some veggies plain, but I usually like something on them.
So cauliflower, is that because of taste or because it has a variety of different types of vitamins and nutrients in it?
I just really like it. It's just crunchy, and I just kind of think it's satisfying. If I'm like feeling snacky, but I know you're not actually hungry, that's kind of like my go-to.
Okay. 237-5948, 1-800-880-5346 if you'd like to ask licensed registered dietitian Elizabeth Meyer a question.
And we have Charlie on the line. Charlie has a question for you this morning, Elizabeth. Go ahead, Charlie.
I have type 2 diabetes and have a tendency, to watch my diet. But I'm wondering, what can you tell me about cottage cheese? Is that an issue? It's a food I should stay away from, or is that okay?
Okay, we temporarily lost Elizabeth there, but hang on. Charlie has type 2 diabetes. He's wondering about cottage cheese, Elizabeth. Is that an okay food for him to have, or should he stay away from that?
No, that would be okay. The only thing, if you have diabetes, it's, a high protein, low carb food. The only thing with cottage cheese to watch is just the sodium. And they do make low sodium versions of cottage cheese. So test it out, maybe mix a high, like a regular one with a lower sodium one if you're thinking the low sodium one doesn't taste as good. But it is a good option.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. Thank you, Charlie, for that call. We do appreciate it. 237-5948, 1-800-880-5346. You can text in to the 702 Communications Text Club. Elizabeth, can you ask her what her thoughts are? Text coming into our 702 Communications Text Club. Wondering about turmeric. They're seeing it everywhere. Health benefits, Elizabeth, can you tell us anything about it?
Okay, we lost Elizabeth, but we do have Jack on the line. And Jack, if you got a question for Elizabeth.
Okay. Years ago, our neighbor's mother was diabetic, diagnosed. And she told the doctor that she got so hungry for sweets. And the doctor told her that if she occasionally, she could have pure maple syrup or honey or molasses for a sweet just once in a while to satisfy that. I'm wondering if that's still true or if it was true.
Okay. Did she have type 1 or type 2 diabetes?
That I don't know.
Okay.
That I don't.
And the doctor told her that she could have molasses, did you say, as a treat?
Yes, the pure sugar. Molasses or honey or pure maple syrup, not log cabin, the real stuff.
Elizabeth, any response to that?
For diabetes, this is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sugar is sugar is sugar, and so when you have diabetes, any of those things, whether it's syrup or molasses, if it's naturally, like honey, it still is going to raise your blood sugar. So you can still eat those if you have diabetes, but just watch how much you're having and know that it is going to count as one of your carbohydrates.
Once in a while, she would become so hungry for sweets.
Do you have a better suggestion for a treat, Elizabeth? For a sweet for somebody who is diabetic?
I think treats are okay even if you have diabetes, as long as you are, having a small portion and you're working that into your carb amount for the day. Somebody might be more satisfied if they just even have like a couple of Hershey Kisses or something like that, if you really want something sweet.
And that's okay, even if you're diabetic?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, now to go back, we had temporarily lost you again. I'm sorry. Somebody had texted in about turmeric. They're seeing it everywhere. Are there health benefits to it?
I don't know enough that there are, because it's kind of one of those, it's like the newest thing. It certainly is not going to hurt anything, and I can research turmeric more. But there's antioxidants and anti-inflammatory properties to turmeric. So it could be beneficial, and if you feel like it's making you feel better, go for it.
How about we put that on the list for next week? You can do some research and we'll talk about it. We also wanted to talk about brown fat. I guess, first of all, what is brown fat?
So brown fat is like the healthier kind of fat, and it's the kind of fat that babies are born with, just basically to help keep themselves warm. So when we get older, we really don't have a ton of it, but it is a healthier kind of fat than the white fat that most of us are, have maybe a little bit too much of.
I told Doug this morning I've had a lot of brown fat, but I am wrong then apparently. Okay, and then exercising. There's a lot of people who like to either run or walk outdoors, even as it continues to get cold. Is it okay to be doing that? Is it better to be outside, or is it better to be inside? Is there a benefit to one or the other, Elizabeth?
No, it's definitely okay to be doing that. And in the cold, you might burn a little bit more calories if you're outside, but you have to make sure that you're not dressed too warm to do that. So I know if I'm going to go out for a walk and it's cold like today, I'm going to be overdressed. I'm probably not going to be benefiting from burning more calories because it's cold, because I'm going to keep myself warm. And the other thing is if it worries you, in the winter with ice and all of that, to go outside, then don't do it. But I'm all for whatever kind of exercise you're going to do. If you don't want to go outside and exercise, you're not going to do it. If you prefer to work out indoors, do that. Do the kind of exercise that you're going to enjoy and actually accomplish.
And we're getting a bunch more diabetes questions. And does cinnamon help with sugar levels? Somebody's asking
No,
that.
there really isn't any proof that cinnamon helps. Again, it's one of those things that it's not going to hurt it at all, hurt your blood sugars. But there isn't any actual proof that that's going to lower blood sugars.
Oh, see, and I've heard the same thing, too, that it does work, so I always mix it in my yogurt. Oh, okay, darn.
Well, if you like it, you can keep doing it, but there's no evidence. But, hey, if you're checking blood sugars and you're seeing my blood sugars are lower, by all means, keep doing it.
Okay, and then this is interesting, too. Somebody texted into the 702 Communications Text Club. My mother's been a type 1 diabetic, 61 years. She puts a cookie in the same jar as a graham cracker, lets it sit for 2 days, and then the graham cracker picks up the taste of the cookie. That's interesting.
That is interesting. I might have to try that.
There you go, giving the expert tips. I love that. All right, yes. Elizabeth, we'll do some research more on turmeric. And then since people keep asking about diabetes, maybe we'll talk a little bit more about diabetes next week as well.
We can absolutely do that.
All right. Thanks, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
You bet. That's licensed registered dietitian Elizabeth Meyer. She joins us every Tuesday around 7:40 here on the